We're playing Star Control 2, a game from 1992. My fourth favorite game ever made. So I hope you enjoy it too. Tonight, playing the game is my co-star here, David. And then I'll be commenting as we go along, trying to reminisce a little.
It is the year 2155. The people of Earth now travel between stars. Following the sad lessons of the Little War, a unified Earth knew a century of golden peace and prosperity. Glorious dream, dashed by the arrival of a hostile armada. Earth and her partners in the Alliance of Free Stars faced a monstrous adversary. The predatory Oroquan and its hierarchy of battle thralls. There were many great battles, yet Earth was losing. But then, far across space, an amazing discovery was made, deep beneath the surface of an alien world. An underground city, filled with the technological wonders of the precursors, an ancient and powerful race who vanished 1,000 centuries ago. But the Oroquan swept through the nearby stars, stranding our scientific team here. 20 years have passed. We have continued our research. We now know what the precursors built here. It is a factory for building starships. But there are only enough materials to build the skeleton of one vessel. Yet that must be enough. Because you must pilot the vessel and return to Earth. And if the war with the Oroquan still rages, fight for Earth and the Alliance as well as you can.
The graphics are so amazing. We're being attacked.
Attention, interloper. Heed this recorded message. This drone vessel speaks with the voice and authority of Urquan. You are trespassing within Urquan space. This world, Earth, may not be approached for any reason, nor will hostilities against our orbital platform be tolerated. In addition, your ship does not respond to standard hierarchy identification transmissions, and is therefore deemed to be independent. This is not permissible. Only subservience shall be tolerated. This drone now leaves to inform the Urquan of your transgressions. You are commanded to remain here and await the arrival of the Urquan. Disobedience will be punished.
Pretty advanced drone. It's like, man, we scanned you. We know you ain't one of us. By the way, I'm gonna like annihilate you when we get back. We know who you are. We don't know what you are, but we know who you are. And who you are is not one of us.
Therefore, you're independent.
Yeah. Doesn't that mean you're...
Attention, unidentified space vessel.
you.
I am
I'm just
Starbase
a
Commander
pro.
Hayes of the slave planet Earth. Our hyperwave broadcast is extremely weak. Situation critical. Energy cores exhausted. Scanners and deep radar are non-functional. We cannot identify your vessel. Are you the scheduled hierarchy resupply ship? Repeat, are you the resupply vessel?
Maybe.
Maybe not.
No. This is the Starship Vindicator. But we stand ready to assault you. I mean, assist you. You take the base.
take the base. Yeah, force them.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the resupply vessel. What do you need resupplied? Slave planet, hierarchy resupply vessel. What's going on here?
We lost, man.
Let's go with... Let's lie to them.
The resupply?
Well, it's about damn time. In the Fieldy agreement, the Urquan promised that this station would be resupplied at least every 5 years, and it's been over 8 since we saw you. If you had arrived a few weeks later, there wouldn't be anyone alive on this station. But never mind, just begin your transfer of materials immediately, starting with the radioactives.
Wait a minute, buddy. You can't talk to me that way. I'm taking these radioactives home. I'll leave you the food and the water, though.
Yeah, let them suffer. Actually, I lied. This isn't the resupply vessel. Sorry.
Dang. Wouldn't you know it? Hey, we're done plumb out of those. Dag nabbit.
Dang on it. Just dang. I knew we shouldn't have gave that one established starbase too many of those.
What? What kind of idiot sent you out here without replacements for our energy cores? It's amazing we've kept our generators online for as long as we have. Look, you'd better get those radioactives right away, or all the other supplies are pretty damn pointless since we'll all be too dead to use them.
Well, if you don't want the water, I mean, I know these guys, a couple traders on Kandahar. Kandahar.
Well, we'll leave now to find the elements you require.
People in Novaria could use that oxygen if you don't want it.
Yep.
Thanks, I'll make sure to mention this the next time I talk with our masters. I'm sure they will reward you.
I guess let's go check out the moon.
That's where you have that crossover event between Star Control and Mass Effect and the Nacrot, what are they called? The insect ones. I had it and I lost it. Rachni. It's where the Rachni invade and the Urquan have to fight them off.
Oh yeah.
That'd be an interesting crossover event. Oh, but anyway, yeah, those look like servitors from Wasteland 3. I know you've gotten there. You said you haven't gotten there yet. You had to have gotten there.
I was only started the first 10 minutes of it.
Did you go to the fort yet?
Yeah, I'm at the fort. I just got to the fort where they...
Did you go into the control room?
Yeah.
Those little guys running around.
Oh, those guys. Yeah.
I mean, the head's a little different, but they got the little tracks and the little narrow bodies.
Yeah, they look like the old robot from the
The one from Nintendo.
Yeah.
He's got tracks. It's all 80s technology. We believe it's some kind of alert or maybe broadcast. Mayday. 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 We'll never know. Or will we?
Mercury. Remember that when that used to be a car company?
So was Oldsmobile. They're gone now too, aren't they?
Yep. I think
Yeah.
I should say this just in case.
Yeah. You only got the one. Oh, yeah, you got two landers. No, you only got one lander. But you had two. Yeah. Can't afford the crew anyway.
Dang.
What was the other one? It was there's heavy metals and radioactives. That's what you're picking up. And then the grays are commons.
Yeah. Hey, like throwing that needle.
I'm trying to be good. I haven't yelled at you yet.
I think that's all we can get.
Yeah. I mean, that's worth it.
Guess we should pick up the spy.
Yeah. We'll do the rest later. Explore our own solar system again. You missed. Don't go outside.
I'm trying not to. It's just so small.
So fragile.
I'll get on this line here. There it goes.
I think that's how we generally did it. We just followed the line in.
Attention, a big, mean, hostile alien vessel hovering overhead in an obvious attack posture. This is Spotty Captain Swiffle. I know you are going to torture me, so let's just get this over with right now. The coordinates of my homeworld, Spathewa, are 241.6 by 368.7, and the ultra-secret Spathe cipher, which is known only by me and several billion other Spathe, is Huffy Muffy Duffy. Sorry about that little mistake with your landing vehicle. I was so startled when it approached my vessel in a threatening manner that my automated defense systems fired on it when it got too close. I hope nobody got hurt.
You in a minute. Alright, we can do attention alien vessel. Identify yourself or be destroyed.
Hi there, friend. We come in peace and mean you no harm.
And you'll go in pieces. Don't kill us, please. Don't kill us. I'm just a weak captain with called the Vindicator. I'll tell you, we're from Earth. Yeah, I have 4 children. 6 wives, and I'm in debt. Please don't kill me.
You killed Outlander. We killed our crew. Prepare to die.
Yeah, that's.
Crustacean.
I don't think we're gonna do it.
Nah.
Yeah. Cowardly slime crustacean. Like so
Of course, as I said, I am Captain Fofo of the Spotty Lordship Star Runner. Our sensors have tracked your entry into the system, which you are no doubt here to conquer. And while you are certainly welcome to do so, we would be greatly appreciative if you would please just go away and forget this star system ever existed. If you don't go, it will greatly complicate our master-slave relationship with the Earth One, who stationed us here to watch over the Earthlings.
You know, I always had a question about that. I can see him on the monitor. Presumably, we have two-way video communication, right?
Right.
He can see me. We just fought a war. He ought to know what we look like, right?
I think so.
And he's saying we're here to conquest this, I know, whatever. But anyway, I just always kind of bothered me on that. But maybe he's playing stupid so he doesn't, make us angry.
Well, then again, we're in an alien vessel, not registered, so.
Yeah, but he sees me. I'm human.
Yeah, true. There's other humanoid-looking people.
Well, the Andersons, but yeah, okay, I'll give you the Andersons. But they were, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But knowing them, they probably just killed him anyway. We suggest you immediately perform whatever cultural practices that are customary to your species. Proceeding. Death.
We understand that sometimes these tragic misunderstandings happen. We grieve deeply, truly, but we are not bitter.
Yet.
Although, my favorite, die, slug boy!
But they're more of a snail.
Yeah. Slugs don't have the shell, right?
Right. They consider mollusks?
I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, they're more of a snail.
Phew, thanks. For a minute there, I thought you were going to kill me.
What are you doing here on Pluto? Answer now or die. I wish that was the part. Because it's like, wow, this guy's like intense.
Be real intense. Yeah, or die. Just at all the end of the sentences, or die.
Yeah, you're like channeling Worf.
Yeah.
If this was any other situation, you would die. I would kill you where you sit, or stand, or sleep.
Yeah, there's a lot of tension there. I would say he would need some counseling. Just a little bit.
You walk, could you imagine just going through life? It's like you walk into a bar. You just walk in. You just like immediately you yell out to everyone in the bar, Your faces anger me. Turn away or die. It's like, oh my gosh, dude.
Now, depending on what bar you walk into, you
Well,
may
it would be
dead.
it would be any bar because you're just so intense, you know. It's like you're ordering a drink. I'll have whiskey, no ice. Now or die. Oh my gosh, dude. It's just a drink.
You're at PetSmart. Get taking your dog to have like a
Grooming or something.
grooming or something. Groom Muffy, Huffy, Duffy, or die.
It's a poodle, so you're like, and make sure you do the sanitary or die. It's like, oh my god. or you ask for a raise. This is the last one, I promise. You ask for a raise. I worked here for 30 years. I want a raise now, or I will kill you where you stand. Now, nowadays, that could go very badly for you.
Yeah. Yeah, that would.
Especially if you're on airport property. Federal
Alright.
crime.
Let's do the, what are you doing here on Pluto?
About 20 years ago, this region of space was dominated by a loose confederation known as the Alliance of Free Stars, which was composed of the aliens native to these parts who did not want to be enslaved. They made a valiant effort against the superior Urquan forces. It even looked like they might miraculously defeat the combined Urquan armada, right up to the point at which the Urquan totally defeated, indeed annihilated them.
So, what are you doing here on Pluto?
When the Urquan armada entered the system to subjugate formerly the Earthlings, the Urquan presented the humans with the standard slave options. Join the hierarchy as combat roles and retain some autonomy, including the right to travel through space, or become a fellow species and return to pre-atomic savagery on the surface of their homeworld, encased for all time beneath an impenetrable force shield. The humans chose the latter option, and so were swiftly imprisoned on the surface of Earth. But the Urquan didn't trust them to obey the restrictions, so they chose a small group of hierarchy combat starships from the Illith and Spartan fleets to create the so-called Earth Guard and station them at a base on Earth's moon.
Tell me what you are doing on Pluto now.
Originally, we were stationed on Earth's moon, which made us Spatty a bit uneasy because with each passing day we grew more and more worried about the sneaky Earthlings making a surprise attack. So the Illred kept telling us that it was impossible since the Earthlings had no ships or weapons whatsoever. That made us feel a bit better, but when the Illrath left, again we grew fearful and decided to make a strategic redeployment to Mars. Later on we decided it would be prudent to relocate to Jupiter's moon, Ganymede, then later Saturn's moon, Titan, and finally here to Pluto.
What happened to the Illrath stationed in the system? Yeah.
The Illrath contingent were supposed to be the toughest ridge crest, the most rigid flipper, yes, the backbone of the Earth Guard force. But they departed the system en masse not long after the last Urquan dreadnought vanished from this region of space. They claimed to have received a direct order from their gods of evil and darkness, who had grown dissatisfied with the Illrath's passivity and wanted them to kill, or at least torture someone soon. Personally, I believe they just got bored and went off to have some fun.
You know, it's like the old potato thing. You say backbone, I say rigid fin.
Yeah.
When do you expect the Illrath to return?
Well, when they were pushing up into hyperspace 18 years ago, we asked them that very question, and I think they said something to the effect of, real soon.
What is happening on the base on Luna then?
siblings figured out we had abandoned the base on Luna, they would be more likely to try something sneaky. So, we rigged up some old service androids and ordered them to drive around on the lunar surface in bulldozers, endlessly pushing around the same piles of dirt. In addition, we connected the base's local radio transmitter to an audio malnorme fun rum called Winky's Happy Night, hoping they would think we were still there.
Winky's Happy Night.
I think he was a xenologist
Yeah.
was wrong about the Mayday issue.
Yeah. Well, he died too. Remember, he popped his name up.
Oh
I
yeah.
think that was him, that Kowalski or whatever. He'll never know. What happened to the other Spothy ships?
Over the past years, it became necessary to redeploy strategically some of our Earth-powered forces to our homeworld in case of a sudden surprise attack by a vicious, unrelenting alien race which we Spotty call the Ultimate Evil.
Now, see, this was the one where when I saw that part, and then after I played the 3, and then you find out there really was an ultimate evil, and the Spothy were right.
All along, they were right.
Yeah. Now, they weren't right because they knew that they were right. I'm pretty sure that they're just paranoid, but, you know, even paranoid, they were right. That's funny. How many crew do you have aboard your ship of death?
Dozens, that is to say scores, and perhaps even hundreds of my brethren stride through the corridors of this specially modified, super-efficient, mass destruction-oriented starship, which could lay siege to an entire planetary system should we choose to do so, which, fortunately for you, we have decided not to do today.
Hundreds? Come on, man.
I am undone. You are far too clever for a poor Spotty like me, and now I must submit to your superior alien intellect. I guess I am not revealing any truly important secrets if I tell you that each of my species' lunar-class void ships typically holds 30 Spotty crewmen, though at present my vessel, the Star Runner, is not up to full complement due to the needs of my homeworld in their resistance against the Ultimate Evil. And in fact, my vessel is somewhat understaffed right now, seeing as how I am the only spotter on board, which is a bit frightening, as I am sure you can understand.
The galaxy teems with threatening monsters like me. Are you happy here, alone and vulnerable?
How true, Captain, how true! In truth, just between us, during the past 7 years, I have been quite ill at ease, and yet now I find myself enjoying your company. This witty dialogue, and the presence of your huge, powerful, death-dealing starship, which, being my friend, you would certainly feel compelled to use in order to save me from any hostile life forms who threatened me with death.
You know, whoever did the writing on this, I have to say that it was it's very funny. Even after playing the game again so many years later, I still find it funny. Who or what is the ultimate evil?
As yet, the ultimate evil remains largely unmanifest, and its powers and exact intentions are still a bit obscure, since it lurks just outside the range of even the most sensitive long-range detectors, which we feel gives conclusive evidence as to the ultimate evil's nefarious intent.
Also, I think he's a cousin of Dr. Evil. Why are you still here, Captain? Was it Fluffy?
Foo-foo.
Is it Fufu? Fluffy? Fluffy? Whatever. Anyway, be that one.
Since it was our most powerful and unforgiving masters, the Orquan, who stationed us here, we knew it would be grossly stupid to disobey them completely, but we decided it would be okay to send just one ship home. We used one of our most ancient and solemn rituals, Poon Taffy, to pick the lucky ship. Then, some months later, we decided that it wouldn't really hurt if we sent one more ship home. And then later we sent another, and then another. Well, you get the idea. Alas, as fate would have it, when the final ritual was performed, I, Farifo, was left here alone. For, as even the most immature in wrestling knows, there must always be one stopper who picks the short top runs.
For Wiffo.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, for Wiffo. Not that it matters after this. Where are the Urquan now? Scum. He's like, man, this character is like, he's mean.
I know.
Our masters don't really keep us very well informed about their goings-on, so that all we know is that immediately after the subjugation of the last Alliance race, the Hut, I think, the Urquan gathered their dreadnoughts and departed toward the edge of the galaxy, commanding us to obey the slave laws or face their wrath when they returned. We only know bits and pieces of what happened to each race. For instance, when defeated, the Yahat joined the hierarchy as combat thralls, while the Cyrene chose to be slave-shielded on a planet in the Bugsquit star system. No, that's not right. I forget its name. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, the Shofixti. They were utterly wiped out in a gigantic blaze of glory.
What do you mean? Blaze of glory. What happened to the Shofixti? I must know.
The Shofixti were half ethereal, as you know, having been uplifted by the Yahat just a few decades before the start of the war. Given their habit of detonating those suicidal so-called glory devices in combat, it came as no particular surprise to me when, upon the arrival of the Urquan Primary Task Force at their homeworld, the Shofixti caused their sun to explode in a colossal supernova, destroying the entire planetary system, and not incidentally dozens of Urquan dreadnoughts.
What about yourself? I'm not gonna try the name again.
Me? You mean me, personally? How nice of you to ask! I was born a poor green incrusting, the youngest child of a family of 18,487. My male parent had to work hard to support us, very hard, but each of my brothers and sisters and I tried to help out to make ends meet. The female parent was kind and sweet to all of us. Why, she once even called me by name. She said, what a treat, a golden memory. I swiftly matured into a fine example of my species with my parents' assistance, achieved independence. Specifically, they pried me from the door jamb and rolled me into the street. Thus prepared, I set out to make my fortune. I had great dreams in those days. Yes, great dreams. I knew that someday I would be vastly rich, wealthy enough to afford a large, well-fortified mansion. Surrounding my mansion would be vast tracts of land, through which I could slide at any time I wished. Of course, one can never be too sure that there aren't monsters hiding just behind the next bush. So I would plant trees to climb at regular, easy-to-reach intervals. And being a spotty of the world, I would know that some monsters climb trees, though often not well, so I would have my servants place in each tree a basket of perfect stones. Not too heavy, not too light, just the right size for throwing at monsters. I was thinking about what color the stones would be painted, aqua, mauve, or magenta, when a vegetable cart came careening down the street outside my house, and it knocked me unconscious. When I awoke, I was aboard the void ship Star Runner, headed for Earth. Apparently, I had been out of my head for quite some time after the accident, and with the assistance of some kind strangers, had been relieved of my funds and convinced to join the Navy, where I have been unpleasantly employed for the last 25 years.
Well, still, I mean, he's made it 25 years. It's pretty good.
I know. All around Earth.
Yeah. 18 of it, what?
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel a lot safer if you were with us. Come on. Insert name. Join our fleet. Fluffy Wuffo. Fuffo. Join our fleet.
Happy days and jubilation! I discard all prejudice and hesitations and accept and celebrate your offer of protection and your undying commitment to my well-being. I must wax melancholy for just a moment though, and make sure you understand that any other spaceships we meet at large in the galaxy are not going to be quite so responsive to your friendly gestures as myself, since they bear more heavily the yoke of equine enslavement and are also apt to talk themselves out of allying with a totally unknown alien, which I, having been left here alone, cannot do. Welcome me aboard, Captain.
Yay! Yay! And that's how you get Spotty on board.
You might want to put crew on him.
Yeah, that would be bad. If I can't figure out where my... Oh, there it is.
Onward and beyond.
Do.
Gosh, it's so slow.
I know.
It's painful.
Can't even twirl. Oop, missed it.
Didn't make it. Yeah, it can be a little tricky when you don't have thrusters or turning thrusters.
I know it takes forever to turn.
Did you find any radioactive elements for our power cores?
We are ready to transfer radioactives.
What will you give us in exchange for your radioactive? That's horrible. He's like, they don't have anything left, and you're trying to store them. They're dying.
I'm sorry, Captain, your message was garbled. Our receivers have very little power.
Yeah,
I'll send a bottle with a note in it.
let's get ready to transfer.
We're initiating transfer of radioactives, Captain. Now, as soon as our engineers can refit the energy cores, that's much better. Power ratings are climbing. Life support is coming back into the green. Deep radar systems and sensors are now online, and I can scan your vessel. What the hell kind of ship is that? Just who are you, Captain?
I am Captain Zinlik of the Starship Vindicator. We are the survivors of a Star Control science research team to the Vela star system. You will obey me now. It just get that
Star
intense
Control.
feeling.
He does.
Star Control science mission, huh? Captain, I served as a Star Control officer during the war aboard several cruisers in the Corward Front. And if there'd been any scientific mission to Vela, I would have heard about it. You know, come to think of it, there were some rumors that Corridor 9, the Special Operations Division of Star Control, was directing some hush-hush operation near Androsynth Space. The Vela star system, yes, that would be the right direction. So, Captain, if you say it's true, how do you explain that huge alien starship you're flying? And why are you here? What do you want from us?
Give you 3 guesses, but I'm going to tell you anyway. We have returned to Earth to give you the technology. Oh, the technological secrets of the precursors, and to help you fight the hierarchy. Remind me not to read cue cards. I'm trying to read a speech.
Fight the Urquan. Win back our freedom. I remember having such thoughts myself once, long time ago. That was in the first years after the defeat, when it was still terrifying to look up and see the bloody glow of the pulsating slave shield overhead. Though day and night we gazed up at the impenetrable wall, as though the sheer power of our hatred would pull it down. But over the years, I spent so much of my time struggling, down on the surface, under the shield, and then later up here trying to keep the station alive, that I'd forgotten what it means to be free, to hate our Urquan masters. And now here you are, in an alien ship of unknown power, offering me your assistance to fight against the hierarchy again after all these years. Captain, your offer is intriguing. It's tempting to think that with your advanced precursor technology, we can somehow crack the Earth's slave shield and reassemble the Alliance to attack the hierarchy. And this time, win the damn war. Consider the consequences if you should fail. The Urquan won't just punish us here on the station, they'll exact a gruesome retribution on the surface below as well. Before I commit this station to helping you attack the Urquan and accepting the risk of annihilation if we are defeated, I have to make sure that you and your ship have what it takes to oppose the hierarchy. I'll make you a deal. If you can eliminate the alien base on the moon and get rid of that threat at least, I will seriously consider your offer.
We found the base, but it was abandoned years ago. We attacked the moon base and completely destroyed the enemy.
Piece of cake.
You should tell the truth, right?
Oswald, why not?
I'll be darned. All these years we've been listening to their incoherent broadcast, and we never even guessed. Captain, listen closely. Long-range sensors show a ship closing on this station fast. Our computer identifies it as Ilrath, Avenger class. I think you've got a fight on your hands, Captain. Your best bet is to wait until you have point-blank range. Captain, it's jamming our signal.
By the fetid breath of the Dark Twin Kazan, a human and an alien starship. How fascinating. When I intercepted that Urquan drone and learned that an unidentified starship had approached Earth, I never expected to find such a remarkable vehicle in the hands of a human. Humans are prey animals, weak and helpless. But here is a human in an armed starship, and therefore in direct violation of the oath of fealty. I am sure our masters, the Urquan, will punish Earth most severely for this treachery when I present them with the twisted wreckage of your ship and your many charred corpses.
Pleasant fellow.
Yeah. Definitely someone you want to get a beer with.
Yeah.
Where the hell did you come from?
Hold on, do this. It will be a pleasure blasting your ugly face out of the stars. I don't know. Some of these they just make you feel so angry.
It does.
Jeez. Surrender, foul alien creature, or you will be terminated.
Look, let's be reasonable. We can coexist peacefully. I'm not one for coexisting, so ugly face one? Yeah.
I have no fear of you, feeble mammal. Though my ship lacks a functioning cloaking device, and many of our crew are dead, my gods, Dokar the Black and Kazan the Unseen have personally confided to me that they despise you humans, and that they will help us to kill you all.
That's so nice of them.
Yeah. Give him the butt. It's like the best name for a weapon.
B-U-T-T, backwards, utilizing, tracking, torpedo. Oh, that was close.
Oh my gosh, you almost killed like 4 people. Is it 4 or 2?
What a beautiful sight,
2.
Captain. I haven't seen an Avenger blown away like that since the battle in Draco. I guess you've shown that you can handle yourself in battle, Captain. So my last reservation about helping you has been dissolved. I will commit this station to helping free Earth and defeat the Urquan. We may get our atoms rearranged in the process, but by God, Captain, we're going to try. So the obvious first step is to get the precursor equipment and software over here so that we can make it work with our ship repair fabricators. But then what, Captain?
Then, Commander, we will proceed to kick some major alien butt. I don't mean to spot the weapon. Trust me, Commander, I have a plan. A really good plan. But for now, it must remain secret.
Yeah.
We will slowly build our strength, unify an allied star fleet, and bring the Urquan to the need.
We will call it
equivalents.
the Rebel Alliance. It's like it's a Star Wars ripoff all of a sudden.
The Commander will proceed to kick some major alien butt.
Yes, Captain. We'll do just that. By the way, Captain, I think we need a name for this new alliance we're going to forge. And since it was your idea, it's only fair that you get the honor of naming it. So, what will it be?
The new alliance of free stars.
Yeah, let's do that one.
Really? Alright.
Well, which one would you rather do?
The Concordians of Alienation sounds pretty neat.
It sounds a little Babylon 5-ish, but okay, it's fine. Go ahead and do that one.
Very well. From this day forward, we're the Concordance of Alien Nations. Now, Captain, I expect the configuration process for the starbase to take at least 2 weeks, so let's get to work.
Sometime later.
I have good news to report, Captain. We have successfully integrated the precursor technology from your ship into our fabricator system, and as you can see, we've already begun minor repairs on your ship, patching up some of the micrometeorite holes. We noticed that your ship does not have an emergency warp escape unit, so our engineers rigged up some for you and each of your escorts. Now, you should be able to escape from a bad situation with the touch of a button. But there is a cost, however. The unit gulps up 5 fuel units each time your precursor ship uses it. Also, we now have a limited capacity to make modifications to your ship, to refine starship fuel, to build additional combat ships, and to train new members of your crew for the flagship and any ships you acquire for your fleet. Captain, I know you're eager to get to work, so I'll be brief. If you have any questions how this starbase works, what resources we need, or just some background information on the galaxy, don't hesitate to ask.
Commander, I have materials to offload. Let's get some money.
Not a bad job, Captain.
Before I proceed, I need some additional background information.
Certainly, Captain. What do you need to know?
Everything.
I would like some historical data.
What aspect of history, Captain?
I'd like to know about what other starfaring races.
Which group of aliens?
The members of the Old Alliance.
Okay. Which race?
The Sophixti.
The Sophixti are a race of intelligent marsupials who had been civilized for only a few decades when the war began. They were discovered in the Delta Gorno star system by the Yehat, who adopted and then uplifted the Sophixti, giving them advanced technology and cultural definition. Sophixti are noble and fearless warriors, Captain. In addition, their incredible fecundity and rapid maturation rate kept Alliance ranks solid even at the worst part of the war. You know, I once flew as an observer aboard one of their ships on routine patrol. We never saw the enemy, but I could never stop thinking about the glory device it had strapped to the bottom of its hull.
The Yehat.
The Yehat are a race of ancient warrior clans that have been traveling the stars for many centuries. Clans are highly competitive and sometimes even wage war on each other, but the clans are all loyal to the Queen and her royal family, known as the Veepzeeps. The Veepzeeps have been in power for over 2,000 years, and it is said that during their rule, the Yehat never lost a battle.
The Arulu.
I'd like to think I'm not a bigoted person, Captain, especially when it comes to allies, but there's just something about those Arilu that gives me the creeps. One thing I'll say for them, though, they possess some technique for moving really fast through hyperspace. They never let us know what it was, but sure beats the pants off our fastest ships.
Ichitsetsu.
The Chengetsu were leaders of the Alliance, even though they refused to accept formally the title. I don't know if their silicon-based biology is just plain superior to our old carbon models, or if their fantastic intellects were the product of an ancient, peaceful culture. Whatever the reason, I'd rather be taking orders from a Chengetsu than any other life form, absolutely. One of the more amazing things about them was they never used hyperwave communicators. They could send messages naturally, and their natural hyperwave receptors were much more sensitive than even our best units.
The Murnerherm.
We didn't really get much of a chance to learn about those mechanical beings, but I'll tell you what I know. They're the product of a distant, unknown culture who sent a giant factory arc into our region of space many centuries ago. The Mother Arc, that's what the Earth Press called it, turned out millions of robots and finally broke down. I don't know why the Murnerherm didn't repair the Mother Arc. Maybe they can't. My personal guess as to why they were sent here is that they're on the leading edge of a colonization project. And once the Murnerherm have tamed enough new worlds, the genuine colonists, whoever they are, will arrive and claim their due.
The Siren.
Most raw recruits saw the Siren as nothing more than warm, breathing pinups. Warm they are, and yes, they do breathe most magnificently, but Captain, they are far more than simple joy units. The history shows the Siren established and maintained a peaceful culture from their Bronze Age through their discovery of starflight. Before their planet was destroyed in a horrible cataclysm, their world was an Eden.
That's enough about Alliance for now.
What other group of aliens are you interested in?
The Battle Thralls in the Hierarchy.
Which species?
The Mycon.
The Mycons are hard to get a handle on. In fact, I'm not sure any human has ever had a real conversation with a Mycon. What we know of them, we've learned from their corpses, which, I may add, have a nasty habit of coming back to life when thawed out from a decompression quick freeze. Mycon ships seem to expend a significant amount of energy on life support. This is probably because the Mycon only thrive in temperatures close to the melting point of lead. As far as we know, the Mycon are the only race to actively seek out the Urquan in order to become combat slaves.
The Spathe.
Imagine facing a cowardly, mobile clam armed with a howitzer, and you've got a good idea of what it's like dealing with a Spathe. Although they tend to avoid battles as much as their masters will allow, once in battle, a Spathe eluder is one tough cookie. I once heard a rumor, though I don't like to believe in it myself, that a rogue band of courageous Spathe broke away from the main Starfleet, painted their ships black with bright red stripes, and formed the Black Spathe Squadron, dedicated to performing brave and hostile deeds. Like I said, I'd have to see it to believe it.
I like their description. This is so funny.
Yeah, a cowardly mobile clam armed with a howitzer.
Yeah.
The Unga.
It's unfortunate that the Umga fell to the Urquan so early in the war, because I suspect we would have gotten along well with those big blob creatures. At the very least, it would have been entertaining. We know them a bit better than most races because they were eager to talk with our ships before, after, and during battle. The Arielu intimated that they had a relationship with the Umga before the Urquan arrived, but I don't know any details.
The Androsynth.
When I was flying combat missions along the Corward front, there was nothing we feared more than the Androsynth hit-and-run squadron. Their blazer ships were more than a match for our cruisers, so we stayed clear of Ada Vulpeculae, their home star. In addition, I think each of us aboard the ship knew deep down in our hearts that the Androsynth had a damn good reason for hating us. Our grandparents had kept them as slaves for nearly 50 years.
The Arath.
I still have nightmares about those spiders taking me prisoner, using me as one of their 6 sacrifices to Dogar and Kazon, their twin gods of destruction and torment. Those guys were almost as scary as the Androsynth to those of us in Deep Space Patrol. Their Avenger ships could appear out of nowhere and melt a cruiser down to slag in seconds. Luckily for us, the bulk of the Ilrath fleet was thrown against the Chenjesu and the Myrnaherm.
The Vox, yeah.
The Starship Far Voyager under the command of Captain Jeffrey L. Rand encountered the Vux near Beta Mira. Although the details are hazy, it's generally accepted that Rand offended the Vux starship commander with an inadvertent insult.
They're just a weird group.
Yeah, very hateful.
Yeah.
That's enough information about the hierarchy.
What other group of aliens are you interested in?
Were there any races who weren't in the war?
None that we had made formal contact with. The Chenjesu implied that they had met 2 other star-faring species, one near the Gickless constellation and the other directly coreward from Procyon. The Arilu Lalile once mentioned having some fun with an alien race in Draconis, but like so much else with the Arilu, they never revealed the whole story. I'm sure there are hundreds more alien races in our galaxy, but beyond what I've told you, your guess is as good as mine.
I have sufficient information on this subject.
Would you like information on any other aspect of history?
I'm interested in the war against the hierarchy.
What about the war?
How did the war with the Orkorn start?
Earth got involved late in the game in 2112 when the Chenjesu arrived in our solar system for the first time. So let's back up a few years to 2098 when the Chenjesu super-sensitive receivers detected a strange signal from the Ophiuchi constellation. Though even the Chenjesu didn't know it, it was the first sign of the Urquan's arrival. The Urquan, having detected the presence of many sentient species, were beaming out an exulting hunting cry. The first direct evidence of the Urquan's intent was the sudden conquest of the Umga, a solitary though not unfriendly species in the Orionis constellation. Chenjesu, distraught by the invasion, were further angered when the Urquan turned their fleets on the hostile but weak Ilrath race. A hastily assembled defense force of Myrnaherm and Chenjesu vessels turned the Urquan fleet aside, but the invader moved into Spathi space, rapidly subjugating that race. With each new conquest, the Urquan fleet grew larger as it added slave vessels to its ranks. Earth joined the Chenjesu to form the Alliance of Free Stars at about the same time as the Androsynth stars fell to the Urquan Armada. Before the ink was dry on our agreement with the Chenjesu in 2116, a new race appeared in orbit around the moon and asked for admittance to the Alliance. It was the Arilu Lalile. The timing seemed unusual, and the Arilu were definitely weird, looking like saucer men from Mars, but we were too busy cranking up our mothballed heavy industry that we really didn't pay it much attention at the time.
What happened during the war?
At the start of the war, here on Earth, we were working like crazy, churning out hundreds of heavy cruisers and smaller support vehicles. The Urquan were busy too. Unbeknownst to us, they had moved down towards the Luton Star Group and were attacking the Vux, who only the Yehat knew existed. Our botched first contact with the Vux took place in 2119, and it was the biggest single mistake we made during the war. After defeating the Vux, the Urquan fleets ran smack into the combined might of the Yehat and Shofixti, supported by the first wave of our cruisers. Again, the Urquan turned away from the hard spot to attack the weak, though we just thought they were running away. In fact, the Urquan had found another independent alien race, the Mycon, in the Brahi constellation. The Mycon's voluntary submission to the Urquan brought the return of the Urquan fleets, now swollen with 100 devastating Mycon pod ships. The last entrants to the conflict were the Cyrene, a race of space gypsies who had escaped the hierarchy by moving their vast fleet of slow-moving habitats into human space. With the side set, the last Urquan offensive began.
How did the war end, Commander?
The Urquan came roaring through Vux space and tried to push past the India and Mira star systems. Their onslaught was barely repulsed, and our counterattack made hardly a dent on the hierarchy forces, but we held the line. The coreward front remained intact. Over the following 10 years, there were many great battles between the combined Alliance Starfleet and the Urquan and their hierarchy of battle thralls. Then in 2134, a dramatic shift in the balance of power took place. This must have been about the time the science research mission was sent to the planet of Vela. Our fleets were pushed back from the Indy-Mira line beyond Raynet. Holding Rigel caused grievously in Chenjesu forces, and the Urquan, recognizing this weakness, shifted to focus the brunt of their forces on Procyon. That was the last we heard from the Chenjesu and the Myrnaherm. A few weeks later, waves of ships hit us from all directions. When Ceres Station, our outpost on the asteroid belt, fell to the hierarchy, we knew we were beaten, but we fought on anyway. 3 days later, the Urquan vaporized our last remaining laser forts on the moon, and the dreadnoughts took up geosynchronous position above Rome, Moscow, Beijing, Tokyo, London, Buenos Aires, and Washington. We'd lost the war, and we knew it. But the Urquan decided to make it real clear. And that's why if you check any of our most recent maps, you won't find Buenos Aires.
What happened after the war?
After the UN submitted their formal surrender, we were given a week to decide the nature of our servitude. The Urquan demanded that the decision be made through popular vote. When all the votes were tallied, Earth had chosen not to fight for the Urquan. We had become a fallow slave world. We were given a month to withdraw all of our people and equipment to Earth. Anyone or anything left off planet would be destroyed after the shield went up. Then the Urquan broadcast an odd message. All objects of human construction more than 500 years old were to be abandoned. We didn't know what the Urquan meant until they moved their dreadnoughts into new orbital positions and opened fire on the surface with their fusion weapons. In seconds, large sections of London, Paris, and other European cities were incinerated. At first, we thought they were going to annihilate us after all. And we noticed they were also striking such targets as the Giza Pyramids, the Parthenon in Athens, and Stonehenge. Curiously, the United States was almost untouched. The flaming rain lasted 40 hellish hours. It took days after we crawled from our smoldering shelters to realize what the Urquan had done. Our new masters had targeted every building, monument, or other man-made construction older than 500 years and destroyed it. In those 2 days, we lost most of the history of mankind. In some cases, the Urquan destroyed places we did not even suspect were significant. From their positions in orbit, the dreadnoughts blew away a kilometer of land in central Iraq, vaporized several targets in the Amazon rainforest, punched a big hole through the Antarctic ice cap to destroy something deep under the surface, and melted a broad swath of the ocean floor in the southeastern Atlantic. Then, just a couple of days later, the shield went up, and our contact with the outside world stopped. The next time I saw the stars was 8 years ago, when I was transferred up here to be the new commander of this starbase.
Thanks, Commander.
Would you like any information on any other aspect of history?
I need some information on ancient galactic history.
We have some data on this subject. What do you want to know about?
What can you tell me about the precursors?
Hell, you probably know more about them than I do, but here goes. About 200,000 years ago, when our great-to-the-nth grandparents were just starting to play with stone knives and bearskins, a star-faring species suddenly appeared on the galactic scene and spread like wildfire. We found evidence of their presence just about everywhere, from an orbital platform on Alpha Centauri to a stack of data plates in a cave on Pluto to some nameless widget found in a voodoo shop in New Orleans. Though we never found a precursor body or even a picture of one, we can conjecture what they look like by examining the scale and layout of their equipment. Such an analysis indicates they were giants, say 5 to 8 meters tall and twice as wide. I don't know if they looked more like a brontosaur or an elephant. Anyway, about 3,000 years after the precursors made their dramatic appearance, they vanished. Poof! As far as we can tell, it took less than a decade to happen.
What about other races from the ancient past?
You mean besides the precursors? Well, the only information we have is secondhand based on some research by a Chenjesu historian that I read at the Academy. Since Surtsak, the historian found some evidence that there was a group of alien races who formed an interstellar empire not too far from here about 22,000 years ago. The only species in this empire who actually lived in our region of space was a race of rock-like creatures who lived in the Vulpeculae constellation. The presence of the hostile androsynth in that part of space severely limited Surtsak's research. He never even found out the race's name.
Is there any indication that aliens visited Earth in the past?
Yes, there is. Aside from the precursor relics we have found on Earth, often in museums mislabeled as modern art, we've discovered disturbing evidence of much more recent visitations. Perhaps you're already aware that during the mid to late 20th century, there were unaccountable UFO sightings as well as dozens of reported encounters with alien life forms. Although we can discount many of the reports as wishful fabrication or traumatic translation, the military authorities of the time kept a secret record of the incidents which were legitimate. In each such case, the aliens are almost identical in appearance. They have white skin and minimal facial features except for huge almond-shaped eyes, which are often described as glowing or luminescent. This description fits almost perfectly the Arielu Lalile. In most of the legitimate encounters, the people involved describe being physically examined or modified by the aliens. In some cases, unusual pregnancies occurred, and in almost every instance, there were repeat visitations as though the Arielu Lalile were doing checkups on their subjects. We never got the chance to confront the Arielu Lalile about what they did to us and why. I wonder if we ever will.
And recently,
This is most fascinating, but I must move on.
Would you like information on any other aspect of history?
No more.
Sure. Anything else?
I think that's it, right?
what was in that menu?
I would like your input on how we can defeat the Orc.
Can you be more specific?
Well, I can't find the
Oh yeah,
mineral resources.
that's just
Just information dealing with the game.
yeah. Let's build out our ship.
What else can I tell you?
Tell me how to get off this rock. How to get out of this outfit.
Fine. Is there anything else you need? We
Goodbye.
shall await your return, Captain.
Bye bye. Alright,
Fuel.
fuel is a must.
Do you want the fuel tank there?
Well, we can move it.
Let's move it.
Alright, where do you want to move it to?
Move it. Move it behind. Third spot open in the front.
There.
Yeah.
And then we won't be needing the weapon.
Nope.
So we can add another fuel tank.
Yep.
Let's see, another that. Should we do more crew?
Ooh, I don't think we're gonna have enough for this round. We're just gonna have to be careful.
Alright.
Because we still need some thrusters.
And fuel.
Yeah. That fuel's gonna. It's expensive. We definitely. You might as well get another lander. We definitely need another lander. So what? One other turning thruster? And we got enough to go out one more. So we want speed or we want to turn?
I think we want speed.
Alright.
Alright. Let's